below that.
No, because it's,
Your fence.
They don't,
it's not regulated because it's a small sign.
the small signs say it has to be below 3 feet.
He's talking about the sign being, even though it's small, it's elevated by the fence and structure itself, so it's technically higher than it's
And that's
supposed
what I'm
to be.
saying, is we've gotta look at this all the way around. I mean, if you're gonna make something illegal, you better know what you're making illegal.
Well, we're making obscene material illegal and not, Mid-South Georgia Fence Company sign, that's on your fence.
But it's the same deal though, but then,
I think technically it might be, but I think if you were to take that to a judge, I don't think it should get very far.
Well, as a Leesburg city taxpayer,
Right?
I don't want it to have to go to a judge because that's more tax money that's being wasted.
Okay. Well, the way that would occur is if Marshall went up to the sign, the fence, and said, this is illegal because you have this little sign and it's 4 feet up, and then he would give you a citation. That would be the way that it would happen. And I don't think that Lee County has the resources or the interest in taking something so out of context to enforce that.
yet, there's always that instance when the county really wants to get somebody and they can, and that makes a big problem.
That's possible.
That's
Paul, can you go ahead and
forward-looking.
get this on the planning commission so we can adopt it?
Why would you think that they'd be out to get somebody?
I'm just
We
saying.
elected offices are to help folks, we're not.
Well, no, I'm not saying you guys, I'm saying some personal riff, somebody gets on a,
If somebody complains,
Yeah,
like,
leave
what happened to
private-
Screw Boots to start this whole thing off?
if somebody complains, you have to investigate it and follow through, otherwise you're not being fair, which is a big problem.
Because the planning commission has reviewed this already, you all, I think, well, you all technically could adopt the sign ordinance after a public hearing and notification of a city council meeting where you do that.
I don't
Planning
think we need
commission-
to wait on the county, because I
Okay.
don't know what.
The
But
planning
let's
commission
change
does
the
not-
language that refers to the municipal court in the city of Leesburg,
Certainly.
not into
Certainly.
the magistrate court in that.
Okay, and now as far as the other issues, the billboards, do you want us to very carefully exclude them? I mean, give them a few places to go, but,
Yes, I mean,
A few places, yeah.
okay.
and that's not a problem right now, but maybe in the future so we can revisit that and change if we need to.
Well, but okay, yes, you can, but the time you change it is when
It's too
someone
late.
gives you a permit that you have to
Yeah.
grant, and then you can change it after the next one. And now it would be allowed,
Wait, oh, go ahead.
well, I was gonna get this billboard zoning ordinance, just to look at where potentially billboards could be allowed currently. So we know what we're talking about. C1 and C2. C2 is the pink area. M, manufacturing, is industrial, so you could have billboards here along the railroad or Railroad Avenue, and both.
19.
Right here at this intersection here, next to the depot, behind you. And then, of course, this intersection could have billboards as
I
well.
was confused there. Doesn't your ordinance say that there's only 3 roads in the county that you can put billboards?
But that's the county.
Okay, so the city is different then, so.
Right.
That's what we're working on right now.
Well, that's what I was looking at, but it's not written anywhere.
Yeah.
It just has those 3 roads.
I don't think we
That's what I
want them on 19 downtown Leesburg.
Okay, well, now then, if you don't want them on 19 in Leesburg, basically, then I think, then the only other reasonable area that would make sense then would be along the bypass, or perhaps in this segment of 19 that's
Right.
south of Leesburg, more or less.
You got 19 on up there, that's way on out, it's agricultural, it's way on out up there.
Right, but currently it's not allowed in agricultural. The county chose not to put or allow billboards in agricultural areas. So if you went with that same philosophy, then there really would be nowhere except perhaps just this, if you wanted to even allow this, billboards right there.
What about the truck
What's
route?
this orange zone here? Is that?
That's,
Will billboards be allowed there?
no, they're not currently.
Okay.
It's a mixed use.
Okay. Never mind. Then, sorry.
So, I mean, it looks to me like what you're saying, you don't want them in the circle of town. So the only place it would be left to is either here and or on the bypass if you wanted to allow them in the agricultural areas. But if you wanted to allow them in ag, then it would include 19 north there. And now the reasoning behind the county not allowing them in ag is because there is certainly a lot of ag agricultural zone land in the county. Along 19 north of Leesburg, most of that's zoned agriculturally, and the county feels strongly about keeping it agricultural and rural and not commercial appearing, not having signs, billboards all over it. So they wanted to prohibit billboards in their agricultural areas.
Okay, could you write it saying on the bypass, but in commercial districts? So it's not anything
Okay.
now.
All right,
But
that's
at
fine.
some point, they could
Sure.
zone a commercial.
Right, if this gets
But
rezoned for,
If it's already commercial, we would be prohibiting those people from having it, wouldn't we? If we just said it's just, commercial on the bypass, would we?
well, you could say
would we
commercial,
do that?
well, the county is saying commercial on 1982 and Lido are the only places you can have billboards. So there's some commercial areas within the county that do not allow billboards. So I think you could say that. Part of the reason people put up billboards is because they're large signs that can be seen by people going quickly. So certainly you have higher speed limit on the bypass, which gives you, I think, a legal foundation to allow a bigger sign. If that's what you want. You could say, come up with a spacing requirement.
Yeah, I doubt we want a billboard on 32 next to Baptist Church. I mean, I don't think it's a good place for a billboard.
No.
That close to houses, you need to go out a little bit before you start putting billboards up.
Well, there's also, in the county's ordinance, there's also, I think, 1,000 feet spacing from residential districts. So even, you know, you probably couldn't put one in here anyway because there's residential within 1,000 feet. With here, this is probably, I'm not sure if that's 1,000 feet, but it would make it difficult. But along here, you know, you could potentially, you may have trouble up here with 1,000 feet. And again, these are numbers from the county ordinance, if you all feel those are good numbers or not. But we can write it so if this is rezoned to commercial, people can have billboards, but there'll be spacing requirements, so there will probably only be a set number of billboards that would be allowed here based on spacing, and it may be 4 or 5 if all of this were zoned commercial.
But don't billboards attract people to coming into the community or the city, so therefore they would really kind of be more in the county, saying that such and such was in Leesburg, rather than a billboard being in Leesburg, saying that this is in Leesburg, because time you go by it, you've gone.
Right, yeah, billboards don't advertise a business right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
It's saying it's
right.
Yeah,
exit
the
2.
bail bonds guys, you know, up, I don't know, 3 miles out of town.
Yeah.
Publix has a big old sign put up, and that is legal, I mean, I'm
The
sure it's
billboard?
legal. No, I mean, it's
The
an
iron thing,
Well,
they're coming up with this.
I'm sure it's legal under the
Right, I
existing
mean,
current.
so we're not being real restrictive, because that's a big dang sign.
The one on 19 is a 30-foot sign, the one on Glendale is a 20-foot high sign, and they're both conforming to the existing. They were permitted before the moratorium. So-
Okay.
Now, when this goes into effect, will they have to come in compliance in 3 years?
But the current orders that you have proposed to you, it's also conforming to this.
Okay, so,
But I mean, once you adopt a new one, they have a certain amount of
No,
time.
because it's legal in this ordinance also.
but your point is that that's a large sign, so if that's bigger than you would want, that sign will be legal if this ordinance
No.
is adopted.
I just want to make sure that we're not being so restricted, people can't have big signs, and that's a big dang sign.
Right,
So
and
we're not.
that's the size sign that would be permitted in Leesburg with those same numbers.
Right.
And if that's too big for Leesburg, then we should reduce the scale a little bit.
It'll be high enough that it wouldn't
Yeah, no, it's off the road. It-
irritate folks, you know.
Right.
No, it's a good looking sign. I mean,
Yeah, it is nice.
Okay.
Catchy.
Okay. Well, Steve, were there any issues that?
We're done.
Sure you want to make
Yeah,
sure
no
that
question.
that-
Are you leaving right now?
No.
Okay, I want to adjourn the meeting, if y'all mind, two of us gotta go, but we can, I want to talk to y'all about the zoning also.
All right, great.
We do appreciate,
No problem. We enjoy working with you,
we're really good.
and,
Did you need
we
to
want
say
you to be
anything?
comfortable with it.
Well, I just want to let you all know that it's probably going to be August before we make a presentation and a public hearing to the Board of Commissioners. That's kind of the timetable that we're looking at now.